Today we're going to talk about the July 4th weekend that's upcoming. I used to be a land developer and a home builder, fairly successful. I built and sold over 2,000 homes, had a TV show. When I say I ran a good portion of the East Coast for a Japanese construction conglomerate. It was a company called Aoki Corporation. It was fun. I loved working with the Japanese. And we had an office in Columbia, Maryland, where I was, in North Carolina, in Florida, and in New York. And I actually got to do some business with Donald Trump. Not directly he and I, but tangentially regarding the sale of the Plaza Hotel to Trump. It was kind of cool. Anyway, this is about July 4th. I was a really hard worker. And when I say really hard worker, I worked 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And raised 2 kids. I was married. The only way to find time in my schedule for all of that, of course, because there isn't time in a normal schedule, was to forego sleep. So I used something called polyphasic sleeping, which don't do it. Don't do it. I took 3 20-minute naps a day. And that's it. So I got 23 hours out of the day. The long and the short of that is that the Japanese, who are notoriously hard workers and work notoriously, in fact, they don't call vacation vacation. They call it family service because they have to do it for their family. It's almost an apology. It was cool. I really, really enjoyed my time working with the Japanese. And my boss's name at the time was Kei Tsukiji, Mr. Tsukiji. And he came into my office one day. We had adjoining offices. And said, "Hey, Joe-san, what are you doing? What are you doing this weekend?" And I laughed and I said, "Working, just like every other weekend." And he said, "Well, I don't think so." And I looked at him and he wasn't smiling. He said, I will have Japanese staff at every one of our offices, field and otherwise, this weekend. You will leave Thursday afternoon, and you will not be seen at any of our offices until the sales meeting Monday morning. And I thought, I didn't know him to be a jokester, but I thought he had to be. But he wasn't. So I simply packed up. Now, this was July 4th weekend. It was a 3-day weekend. I left on Thursday afternoon. I got in my car. I had no idea what to do. I had nothing planned. So I started driving. And I had a 1987 Honda Prelude. So it was a cool car. I just started driving. And I bought a change of clothes. And off I went. And on the 4th, I found myself in, I guess it was a town in Arkansas. There was a little fireworks stand on the side of the road in a meadow. And off I pulled. It was getting dark. And I said to the guy, I said, how much would $1,000 get me? And he looked at me. He had never, that is not the kind of sale he was accustomed to. And he said, $1,000? You can have pretty much whatever you want. I said, I'm talking about quantity. How much will $1,000 buy me? So he ran my card and took a bunch of shit down to an area that he set up, and I just started shooting off fireworks. It was cool. And people started showing up. Like, out of the blue. And there was a whole lot of fireworks. So I went up to the guy, I said, this was going on for a while, but I went up to the guy, I said, how much for the rest of your fireworks? And he looked at me and he said, you can have everything else for another $2,000. And I sold. And he actually took them all down there. And I just sat back. Somebody had brought some beer, and I guess by this time there were maybe 10 people there. And people just kept showing up. It was fun. I had a good time. It was quite an experience. Just who doesn't like fireworks? It's just a wonderful shared experience with people I had no idea who they were. But it was fun to do. And it came to be that I had to head back. There was still some fireworks left, but I had to head back in order to get to the sales meeting on time. And I rolled out of there. It was quite rewarding. I had an amazing 4th of July. Anyway, that was a hippie 4th of July. Just be safe this 4th, and don't lose sight of what it means. See y'all later.